So hi everyone. So today we're going to discuss about what is Snowflake and what is DBT and what is project. So some intro about Snowflake. Okay. So basically first what we need to work with as a Snowflake developer. So must we need to know about database and structure query language SQL. So SQL we need to know that here we can call it Snow SQL. So then Snowflake, then AWS S3 services. Okay, if you have these skills, okay, then you can become Snowflake developer. But so nowadays, we need to know some advanced skills like one ELT tool. It is DBT. It's like a data build tool. Then so Snowflake have like cloud providers like AWS, ADF, and GCP. So in that we're going to discuss about also ADF bulk storage. So bulk storage. So this is we're going to discuss in our training. So usually we have projects like data migration projects. Suppose we have data in Oracle. So those data we need to migrate to into the Snowflake. So why? Because of Oracle is like OLTP, so Snowflake is OLAP. So that's why we are migrating data for analytic process. Okay. So we have most of the data migration project like healthcare domain. So then we have like a bank in retail projects. Okay, so I'll give end-to-end flow complete project and what are the layers and what are the environments inside the Snowflake and DBT. How we going to move data? So with what we going to do with data. So for final, what is a fact and dimension tables? So okay, so first of all, what is Snowflake? So we know already it is a OLAP. Okay, so for online process, for analytical process, we are using the Snowflake. So but here why Snowflake? Okay, it is a cloud-based data so warehouse. Okay, so why we are using it is a pay-as-use model. So suppose we book like Rapido, Uber, Ola. Suppose if you want to go to anywhere like that, so like that we are taking 2 TB from Snowflake. Okay, here we are using only 1 TB, so we are not using one more TB. So then here we need to pay for only 1 TB. So this is one advantage. So and one more thing, multi-cluster warehouse. So multi-cluster warehouse. What is a multi-cluster warehouse? So it is like suppose there is one SQL query. It's taking 10 minutes time to run SQL query. 10 minutes time. So what? Now I want to get quick output. So quick result set. So in that scenario, I'm going to increase in the clusters. So cluster. So for it taking 10 minutes time, I'm using only one cluster. So but now I'm going to apply 10 clusters. So now it's going to take only 1 minute process to run the query. So this is one advantage, like multi-cluster warehouse. Okay, so taking when we are applying the one cluster, so this is by default we have one cluster. So when now I'm adding the 10 clusters, but now it's going to take only 1 minute. But the price will be different. It will take here $1. So and it will take like here $10. Okay, so this is one advantage. Okay, so pay as use model, so multi-cluster warehouse and its architecture. So we have three layers in the Snowflake. Okay, so one is like a storage layer and a compute layer. Then we have cloud services layer. So why this is advantage means suppose okay, so I have some 2 TB data in database storage layer. So then I'm running one query. So the query going to run in this compute layer. So when it won't affected by the storage layer. So everything is separate. So we have these three layers. So built on cloud. So but we have separate layers. Okay. So each layer this compute layer not depends on the storage layer. And this storage data it won't uh, like it won't affect by this compute layer, and this compute layer won't affect by this storage layer. Okay, so this is one separate layers we have in the Snowflake. This is one advantage. The major is like one is like zero copy clone. Suppose we want I need quick data copy of data. I have millions of rows in a table, so I want to copy this table. So base table, not only table, database schema and tables are these like okay base table. So having like millions of rows. So same table I need in different environment, and I want to back up the data. So in that scenario we can clone the table. So we can clone the table. Clone means nothing but like we are copying the data. We are copying the data. So in that scenario, so this clone table, so basically this base table have millions of records and having some storage and storage cost. So when I copy the data, this clone table so don't have the storage and storage cost, and it going to be work like independent table. So this is so one advantage in the Snowflake. And we have one more feature. So time travel. So time travel is like if any data is deleted from the entire the database. Okay, so using time travel, so we can access the historical data. So up to 90 days. Okay, if anything wrong updation, okay, we can go with we can use this time travel. So up to 90 days we can recover the data, and there is after 90 days one more thing is that like fail safe. So using fail safe up to 7 days we can recover the data, but it will done by the Snowflake data engine. It's not we don't do real time. We need to raise a ticket. Okay, we need to contact with them, then they will recover for us. But basically we can use time travel, so we can recover that data. So this is using time travel. So up to 90 days we can recover. So what is the major advantage the data? So nowadays we are handling data, right? Okay, from previous 10 years data. Okay, so 10 years data. Suppose I'm going to bank, I want to complete my transaction details from we need to get. So we can find up to 10 years, more than 10 years, right? So where we going, how we going to handle those data? Okay, to access the historical data, handle historical data. Like so, here we are implementing SCD type to slowly changing dimension. Okay, so this process, and we are receiving the incremental data. So incremental data. So this is we can handle in the Snowflake. But so usually incremental means when Snowflake started, it's also using the so same concept like streams, so merge and stream table and task. This one. But nowadays, some update feature in the Snowflake. So we have dynamic tables in the Snowflake. So dynamic tables. So this is what it will give. So directly we can do the transformation. So directly when we are receiving data from S3 to Snowflake, so directly we can do the transformation. So we can create a table and source table. So for every 10 minutes, like the required half an hour, 1 hour. So directly we can see the transformations. No need to refresh anything manually. By default, it will done by the Snowflake. So we need to set the timer 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour total like that. So this is one advantage. So this is a new feature, dynamic tables, and so iceberg tables also we have in Snowflake. Okay. So iceberg tables. So these are we need to write on the data lake. So like on AWS S3 bucket. So but this is very advantage. So what is incremental data? So usually I have a table. So one employee table. So EMP table I have. So here I'm receiving. Okay, so one row, one record I'm giving. So 100 and some name. So I'm giving okay, only two and some detail and two HG. So this is first day I'm receiving. So I'm creating a table. So think this is like ID, and this is like name, okay, salary, and So mail ID. Okay, this is the table. So I have a table with the columns ID, name, salary, department ID. So I'm receiving this is one data. So I'm going to receive one more data. So in some way give some numbers. So okay, again I'm receiving one more data. So like I'm going to receive multiple rows, like maybe 50,000 rows records like that I'm going to receive. So this is first day I'm receiving. I create EMP table, then I will load this data. Okay. So second day, what will happen? So again, I will receive. Okay. So this data. Okay. Same thing. ID name. One more file I will receive. So next day. Okay. So but this data, when I'm loading to from S3 Snowflake, so it will also have the same data with some new data. So new data. Yes, some Gmail. Okay. Some new data again. So one more row I'm receiving new data. Okay. Some negative data. So here I'm receiving complete four records. So as example I'm telling. So but when I'm receiving data, it will also include the old data. So first day what I received this same data. So I have received again same data. So if I insert same data, so in EMP table, it's going to be duplicate data, right? Duplicate data. So in that scenario, what we going to do? So we going to truncate this EMP table, or we going to create a replace, and again we will load data. So first day, second day is okay, and again third day. So what we going to receive? Again, we going to receive this data. Okay. So again, what we need to do? So some new data. Okay. Some new data we're going to receive. Okay. So again, we need to create a replace, or we need to truncate the table. Again, we need to load the data. Okay. So if you continue these classes, it will take, if you go day by day, so it will go like so maybe more than 50 lakhs rows, millions of rows. So that it will take time and it will take some cost. So to avoid this, so we have incremental, that is streams concept. So usually from past week, past month, report months, they are using streams for incremental loading data. So but nowadays what they are using, so we have some updates in the Snowflake. So now we are using the dynamic tables to handle so incremental data also. Even when we receive new data, so what it going to do? Incremental. So usually first day we going to create again EMP, we're going to load this data. So second day what we're going to do, we're going to create one stream on this EMP table, and then after that, using match statement, we're going to create one target table. So this stream table going to capture this data and going to load into the target table. Okay. So then stream table capture this data. So it will capture already. So there is we have same data. So one and two. So it's going to check with the IDs. So primary key. Then it will avoid these two rows and it's going to load this data. It won't load the duplicate data. So like that again, it's going to check this data. So it will load only new data. So if anything modification happen like insert and delete and updates, so it's going to track the data and it will send unique data into the target. This is incremental process. So to avoid first we have that loading first method, so that is it take more cost and more time. So to avoid that, we have incremental streams, merge statement, task. So now we have something advantage skill in the Snowflake dynamic tables. Okay. So this is one advantage in this Snowflake. Okay, this is a new feature in Snowflake. So okay, so this is one thing. And we have stages in the Snowflake. Stages. So what are these stages in the Snowflake? Like, so we have internal stages, okay, and then we have external stages. So first I will explain what is stage. Stage is nothing but, so there is A person and B. So both are living in different cities. A have mobile phone. So you want to give his mobile phone to B, but he can't move to B place and B can't move to A place. So in that scenario, there is like another person like C. He can move both places, A to B and B to A. So in that scenario here, he give his mobile phone to C and C give to B. So this is like data moving. So he is nothing but like a CSV file, and so B is target table. So in between we need one intermediate, that is like stage. So directly we can't load data into the Snowflake table from S3 to Snowflake. Okay, so directly we can't load. We need to load the data into a stage. Then after that we need to load the data into target table with copy command. Okay, this is user process. This is the stage. It will hold the data temporarily. So here we have two types of stages. Internal. So when we loading data from local machine to Snowflake, we're going to use the internal stages. So there is a direct load option in the Snowflake. We can load, but there is one limit. Up to 250 MB only we can load. Okay, if the data is more than 250 MB, so we need to go with internal stages. For that we need to install the SnowSQL command line. Okay, command using command run, we need to load data. So there are different stages: user stage, table stage, named internal stage. So what are the external stages? So when we are loading data STG Snowflake from bulk storage, okay, then GCP, we're going to use the external stages. Those are S3, bulk storage, GCP. Those are the external stages. Okay, so this is one process. First we need to load data and stage. After that into the target table. Okay, we're going to discuss about stages. So this thing, and so we are also going to discuss about like views. Okay, and these are like different views. You have standard, metallized, and secure views, and secure metallized views. Okay, those are very important. Why? Because of like, so we need to share data with the different teams, right? So there is employee table having details of employee and employer. So we need to hide some sensitive data like mobile number, salary, mail IDs. Okay. So in that scenario, we're going to use the weaves. So these are the main concepts like zero copy cloning, time travel, stages. Okay. So this is a normal thing, but so the main thing is what is workflow? What is workflow? Here we have data, some tables in the Oracle, some data in the Oracle. So we need to migrate into the Snowflake. So first, what we will do, so there will be ETL team. So ETL team. So what they will do, they will push the data into S3 bucket. Okay. So S3 bucket, AWS S3 bucket. So thereafter, Snowflake developer. So our process will start. So for this, what we need to do, we need to create some storage integration with ARN or URL S3 bucket URL, and we need to describe that integration. Then we need to update the policy with new user ARN. Then we need to create a stage with the storage integration and URL. Then after we need to check the data. So what we have in the S3. Then after we need to go with file format. Then after that target table. Then copy command. So this is the process. First we will load data into the Snowflake using this method, storage integration. So after that, as the requirement, so we need to delete duplicate values. We need to do trim, and then remove null values, and like that we do some basic transformations. So unique values, okay, like that. After that, so what we will do? So we will share with BI tools. This is previous classes, but in between, so what we have? DBT, right? So after loading data into the warehouse, Snowflake warehouse, then we need to connect with the DBT. So remember, it is ELT tool, not ETL. It is ELT tool. Extract load transfer. When we have data in Snowflake, then only we need to connect with DBT. Okay. So after loading data into the Snowflake, then we will connect with the DBT. So then we will go with some transformation DBT. Then the data going to stay share it like Power BI tools for reporting that fact and dimension tables. Okay. So this is our method. So in between, so we need to handle data S3 to, yeah. So these skills we need to have. Okay, S3, that is only few services and what is related to the data loading. Yes, Snowflake and DBT. So I'm also teaching, including this ADF, how to load data from ADF to Snowflake. Also, I also teaching that also. Okay. So this is the we need to have, and with this we need to have the and SQL. So out of 5, we need to know about 3.5 like that. So that is very important. Okay. So in between, we're going to discuss about SQL concept also. So what we're going to work in real time. So those concept, and I will share the recording videos, SQL videos. Okay, need to go with it. So this is the usual workflow. Okay, so we are migrating data from Oracle to Snowflake. So in to put in resume like healthcare data migration project. So don't put bank project and those things. Okay, it's going to difficult to create that. Put only healthcare domain or retail. That is the best thing. Okay, this one. So this is fine, and still what we have in Snowflake like RBAC, role based access control. It means there is a lot of like team members, right? When we are working, there is admin, developer, data analyst, architect. Okay, some users. Okay, who is providing the data. So there are different roles out there. But account admin can access anything from the entire Snowflake account. So, but other users they can't access anything. So for that, we have some admin. So we have some like roles, responsibilities. Here we're going to discuss about users, roles, and to privileges. Privileges are nothing but insert, delete, like select and delete data, insert, like that. We're going to be these privileges. Okay? So users roles privilege. This is complete admin topic. Okay, but we need to have the knowledge of this one. Okay, so they're asking about this thing also intel. So we need to know about RBS, how to create roles. So now to create, how to log in using username and password in different. Okay, so we're going to discuss about RBAC. Then after data marking, so policy. So this is who has a sensitive data, row level policy and column level policy we have. So to create secure data with so other teams. Okay, we're going to use the data masking policy. So here I'm teaching both row level and column level, not single one. Okay, this one. Then data sharing in Snowflake. Data sharing in Snowflake nothing but like so suppose I have Snowflake account, the other person he don't have the Snowflake account, then how we going to share the data? Then I have Snowflake account, other person having the account. Then how we going to share data? So two with it. Third one is like in Snowflake marketplace. How we going to share the data? So this is a data sharing concept. Okay. So as a Snowflake developer, you're going to do loading data, Snowpipe streams, deleting duplicate values, zero copy cloning, and the time travel, and weaves and UDF user define functions, store procedures. These things. So other things are RBAC, data masking policy, data sharing. So other rules, but sometimes you need to do as per the requirement. Okay, depend on team, how many members you have. Okay, so how the roles are distributed. Okay, you need to do. So you need to know everything about Snow, not single thing. And this is one thing, data sharing, and we're going to discuss about UDF, user defined functions. So this is like some we have sum of salary, average, like that. So that's inbuilt function. So as the requirement sometimes we need to create our own functions. So that I'm going to teach UDF completely how we going to create in the bank project. Okay. So healthcare domain, sorry, not bank, healthcare domain. How are you going to create this UDF related to that? Okay, completely real time you will get, not simply topic or some theory, some practical. So what where you going to implement in real time? So how you implement it, you will get real time experience. This one. Then so this is very important. Okay, you need to know about must. So what I will teach everything end-to-end store procedures. Okay, this is you can insert, delete, update using procedure, and even when you have data in S3 bucket, there you have multiple tables in S3 bucket. So in Snowflake you have multiple tables. So now you need to insert the data. So you don't need to run the every time copy run. So in that you need to use store procedures. So when you have the multiple files, okay, and there is we're going to receive multiple errors, right? In that scenario, so we can handle with including copy, comment, job ID. We can handle error data that is static. So, but how we going to do dynamically in that scenario? We're going to use the store procedures. Okay. So those language, okay, SQL, Java, Scala, Python, they're going to use in the procedures. Okay, so we're going with SQL. That is good thing. So I'm going to discuss procedures. Okay, so this thing and views I told. I will show the content first. Go with Snowflake. Here we have these topics. Okay, so the theory is very important. Okay, so some people will get bored when I'm teaching theory. That is very important. Without knowing theory, if you move into the subject, it's going to difficult uh, for when you're going to work hard for in interview point of interview. So you need to know what is happening behind when you run the query. Okay, and how the data going to store in the micro partition, the column format, cluster key, clusters, scale up, scale down, scale out, scaling, vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, what is query pruning, so metadata, result cache. So those like different, there are different theory concepts. So you need to know about theory, then you can move into subject. So don't get feel bored when the theory is going on. Okay, that is very important. If you know the theory, almost 50% about Snowflake. So the practical is very easy. The theory, what is happening, the behind, you need to know. Okay, so this is complete like syllabus. Okay, theory, geographic cloning, table types, permanent temporary transit, apart from dynamic table and external tables and iceberg tables. So these are the base thing, three tables. Okay, time to fail safe, so stages, copy command. So loading data with using copy command, it's fine. So you can find even anything you do, but handling error data is very important. How you going to store error data in Snowflake into the error log table, and this is like a continuous data loading, live data, okay, with Snowpipe. That is the skill, error data handling. Okay, there is multiple ways are there. Okay? So what are the copy command options are there? And task, like what is parent, grandparent, child task. So types of loads, bulk, okay, batches, incremental, like that. Streams, this is S3 type 2, incremental meta statement task. Here we're going to discuss. So S3 types is very important. Okay, slowly changing dimension. We have zero type 1, type 2, type 3, like that. We have slowly changing dimensions. So here we're going to in real time. So we don't use all SC types. So we're going to use SC type 2 and type 1. So I'm going to teach everything type 1. This one. Then UDF procedures, then RVS privileges, roles, users, and weaves. So giants, okay. So giants, why I'm teaching giants means, okay, this is very important. So you're going to write uh, many queries. You have number of lines, okay. So in that you're going to use giants, okay, and MATLAB weaves, both, okay. Weaves, okay, separate concept. But what is the relation between giants and MATLAB weaves? Okay, masking policy, data sharing, dynamic tables, and iceberg modeling. So this is very important. Like so, we have star schema and snowflake schema, normalization, denormalization, OLTP overlap. So we have under fact and dimension tables. In fact table, we're going to store numeric data. Dimension table, we're going to store description data. So what is it? How are you going to do data? So who having more than 5 years of experience in IT field, so they need to know about more thing about data model. Okay. Okay, that is how we handle it. And so suppose we are receiving 200 files from S3 bucket. So now how are you going to uh, modeling? How are you going to create table? What is fact dimension? What is primary key? What is the relationship foreign key? To mention it. That is related data modeling. What is your approach and files? So that is CSV files. Okay. So performance tuning. Okay, when query taking longer time, what are you going to do? So when data is loading the Snowflake, what are you going to do? And one query is taking now 10 minutes, but after 1 week taking 30 minutes. Why it is taking 30 minutes? So are you going to fix it? What are the bottlenecks? Okay. So that and query profile here. So monitoring admin topic, I will teach. Going to check about create usage and those things. Okay. So something. So you're building, okay, admin topic. I'll give some knowledge about this one. So in future maybe, okay, you need to know. So after 10 years you will get in IT field, 15 years, 20 years you go into the manager. Like that. In that scenario, you need to know about building and monitoring. So some catches, the related metadata local catches. Okay. So this is new concept, pagination. So we need to know in Python and everything for this one. And partner connect means nothing but if you are connecting with any tools like DBT, Power BI, so ADF, GCP. So main thing is DBT and then Power BI. So how we going to connect? What is account identifier? Okay, organization name and username password. Okay, so this I will show you how to connect DBT and these things. After that, we're going to work with DBT and pricing. So your billing and pricing is different. Pricing, billing is complete Snowflake account billing. So pricing means like, so how it going to take for hourly based for the data and different. So tagging, okay. So you don't work on the tagging, but I will also teaching tagging, how to tag database, schema, tables, these things. And this is dimension star schema, Snowflake schema. So this is for checking data regarding about data storage metrics in the Snowflake. Okay. So when you create table, what is taking data, how much data is taking, like that. Okay? I'm going to check the storage metrics. Okay. So this is completely Snowflake syllabus. Then we go with just DBT. Okay. So after loading data into the Snowflake, then we need to connect the DBT, right? So DBT is simply I will give example. So why DBT? So many people we can do the transformation within the Snowflake. So why DBT? So it is ELT to extract, load, from how you want. Okay, this is the DBT. So even we can do the transformation in the Snowflake. Then, so why DBT means, okay, in DBT we have so lineage graph. So we can see complete end-to-end data. What is source and what is the target, and the documentation. So that we don't have in the Snowflake. Okay, and clouds we also have. We can schedule using task in the Snowflake, but we have cloud scheduler. This is a best thing in the DBT. Okay, so then GitHub, we can connect with GitHub and we can move the data dev to test to prod. Okay, and reusable codes, even we have in Snowflake reusable codes procedures. So then what is special in the DBT? We have all our functions here. What is the special? These things: lineage graph, documentation, cloud job, GitHub. So they will ask again why it is special. So I will give one example, simple example. So I have A table and B table and C table. So I have one chain condition A to B and B to C. I have put it. So now, so I need to chain A to B to C. Three tables I need to chain. So in Snowflake, what we going to do in Snowflake? So we have already code. Directly we can't use this code. We do again we write entire code A to B, B to C. So it will take some time and it will take some cost, right? So but so what you will do if you have data like this in DBT? So simply you have so one A to B, one name like D, and B to C, you give one name D E, then directly we'll go with J. So without writing any code, this is like reusability. And we have macros, snapshots, and incremental data and documentation hooks concept, what is happening before running the model, after running the model. So these things we can see in the DBT. Okay, this is one advantage. Okay, so ginger files we have. Okay, we can create some formulas. Those are macros we can use in the wherever we need in the models. So these are the going to discuss about some models test unique not accepted values test metallization like view table incremental FML seeds we can do like see create tables with seeds CS files into permanent tables in the Snowflake. Okay, some cloud features, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, okay, and clouds and Slack, okay, email notification, and Jinja. These are macros like formulas. So to access historical data, we're going to implement here is type 2 hooks concept and analysis folder. We don't use it, but we have just we can analyze the data, but it won't reflect in the Snowflake. Some packages, if you don't know, if you're running any test in the DBT, so it's throwing error. So you can go with to DBT utilities in the Google. So there you can see the packages. Yeah, what is your requirement? So you need to copy the package. You need to install in the DBT tips tablet. So those are packages you got. And then so this is CI/CD. Okay, and it's advanced level. So this is like DBT. So region with the same link. I will explain some. So region with the same link. There is only one made region with the same link. Okay. So is everything is clear, right? What I'm explaining? Are you getting any idea? So when we go into subject step by step, then you will get clear concept. Okay. So I will explain about the briefly. This is explained in shortcut. So DBT for modeling data for modularity for reusable. So first, there are different implementations of DBT like staging, intermediate, and mart layer. Okay. So first, in Snowflake, what we have layers. So some like raw layer, and then again here we have staging. Okay. So as for the team lead and different person, so they're going to call. They will decide the names, different names. Okay, raw layer. Okay, staging layer, transformation layer, and presentation layer, and the standard are these are. Okay, raw layer, staging layer, curated layer, bronze, silver, gold. Okay, these are remember these things raw, staging, curated. So they're going to call final layer, presentation layer, reporting layer, something. Okay, for the team. Okay, this is Snowflake layers and DBT. What we have in DBT? So in DBT, we have staging, then intermediate, and then mark. So in Mart layer, we're going to have the fact and dimension tables. In Curated layer also, we're going to have the fact and dimension tables. So how are we going to receive the data? So it is like completely denormalization tables. Okay, denormalization tables. So we're going to do normalization data. So what is denormalization? Simply, suppose I have to. Okay, so employee, so name, department ID. Okay. So employee 100. So give one. So employee name give A. Then it is department ID. Uh, so give ID again 2 and B and the department is department again ID. Okay. So then again 3. So something C. Uh, so some maybe different department. Okay. And so what is nomination again? So I give one more row and some D person, and also department ID is again 8. So here what is okay here see. So this IT repeating right here IT is repeated everywhere 3 times repeated. It's going to acquire some space, some storage, and it's going to take some cost, right? So this is a denormalization table. So we need to normalize the data. How are we going to normalize the data? So here I'm going to create 2 tables. So one is employee ID and name. So here I'm going to have so same thing. Okay. And I don't include in here this one. So here I have so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I don't have this IT column. So first I will create this table, employee table. So then I have employee names ABCD. So this is one table. So now I will create one more table. So that is like a department table. So in department table, what you have? So EMP ID will have, and so we have a department ID. So the EMP ID is a common right in both tables. So here we have again one here something which is like that. Okay. So and something again uh, two and we have something. Okay. So this is denormalization. So after that we going to create So this one, employee ID and department ID here, and employee ID name here. Okay. So how we going to this one? We are doing the like also here will come default name. Okay. So normalization. So when we are receiving denormalization data, we can normalization. Okay. So not only loading data. Okay. So these things are out of syllabus. Okay. When you started learning SQL, before you need to know about normalization. Okay. What is uh, normal from 1, 2, 3, like that we have. Okay. So we need to know. So those also we will discuss. Okay. So behind the subject we will go. So then only you can survive longer time in it. So like that I will teach. This is an organization. So where we are. So this one in DBT we have these 3 layers. So first, when we have data in Snowflake, we will connect DBT. So we will create some models in this here. We will create some models in the staging layer. So in Snowflake, we have constraints like unique, not null, primary key. So in Snowflake, not enforce the all constraints. Snowflake only enforce the not null constraints and default. Official documentation is for not null. So as per my experience, I'm telling not null and default also it will enforce. It means supports. It will only enforce not null and default, not enforce other keys primary key. We can apply, it will work, but it won't enable. Even we can insert a duplicate data. The same thing if you don't work it, it will throw the error if you insert duplicate data. But in Snowflake, it need to accept. Why? Because of it is a warehouse data warehouse, right? So it should accept. Okay. So after loading data, we will create models. On that model, we going to write a test like for unique data. So we it won't have in the Snowflake, right? So we need to do the test unique, not accepted values test. So some other test we have relationship test like that. Okay, this one. Test is for writing. Okay, we need to mention everything. So what we are doing in the model. Okay, so this is model. We can command. Okay, command multiple models also. So when you are working with models in the DBT, how we going to run? So dbt run is a one command. Okay, we need to type the command. So just we need to give the enter. It's going to run the all models in the entire dbt. Suppose if you have multiple models, you want to run only specific models. So dbt run hyphen select. So model name. Okay, this one. Suppose if you want to run three models or two models, to dbt run hyphen select again model name one and model name two. So you need to know simply if you know DBT run command, it will run the all models. So this is basic thing, but you need to know how to run individual models, how to run multiple models. Suppose if you run like a DBT run, okay, select folder name. So it will run all models inside this folder. Okay. So these things you need to know. Okay. When you are looking. Again, for test, you need a normal test, DBT test. Okay, so when you run that test, it will show the success, but it will show that the time thing 0.2 seconds, 0.4. Usually it means not successful, but it will show successful. Then how are you going to check it? Okay, so that I will show in the class. That is your deleted test and this one command. So we have so same thing again. It will apply again if you want to run individual test. Okay, this one and how you going to run dependence. Okay, I going to use reference key, ref keyword, and what is source here. Uh, the source here. What is source and ref keyword source and deleted test. Okay, these things. So we go with these things. Then so on test and metalizations. Okay, we have different type of metalizations like um, we have and table and incremental. So incremental streams, PDC, data capture, task in the Snowflake. But here we have incremental data metallization and FML. Okay. So what is FML? Okay. So these metallization we're going to discuss. Okay. Those are metalization, DBT and seeds. So seeds is nothing but okay, it will like seeds. So we have a CSV file in on-premises or anywhere. So we need to copy that data. Just we need to paste in the DBT. So we need to use a DBT seed. So this is going to create permanent table in the Snowflake with the data. That is what it means. So we have ELT, right? We told ELT. So we are connected with the DBT, we are doing the transformation. Then what is the part of EL and ENL? E means extract and load, right? So this is using seeds. We're going to extract and we're going to load that data. Okay. So using DBT seeds. This is one thing. Yeah? DBT. Okay. ELT process. Completely ELT process, not only. But everybody used to say only for the transformations, not only for the transformation, we can extract and we can load the data using seeds. Remember this point. Seeds is nothing but CSV files. So not other files. It won't support JSON, Parquet, LRM. Okay. It will support only CSV files only. So remember this thing. This is seeds. We need to use the DBT seed command. So then go with so other things. So we have okay sources and it means so we need to know where it comes from. Suppose we have multiple models. Right? Suppose I'm checking one model. So I need to know about that model, where it comes from which database, which schema, and which table. So we written this model. So those things we got. So cloud feature nothing but like so from cloud, how to schedule jobs, how to move environment data, so what are inside that features. So that I will teach. Okay? That is not a topic like metal seeds. That is features. Okay? The Jinja. So these are we going to write loop for loop. Okay, this one Jinja template we're going to use. So Jinja template. So these are like so if else statement loop. So most of them we going to use. Hello.
Yeah, seems voice is breaking.
Okay, something
Mm.
in
Now
between.
fine.
Yeah. So, how we going to use if else or loop statements in the DBT? These things we going to handle in the DBT. Okay. So, Ginger templates, if else statements. Okay. So, something suppose there is temperature, right? Okay. Outside the sun, in summer we going to check the temperature. Suppose so the temperature morning to evening the temperature is going to changes, right? Accordingly. So how are we going to track that one? Like that, in that scenario, we're going to use the Jinja tables in that one scenario. Okay, these things we're going to teach. Okay, so macros are simply like formulas. So we can create macros in macros folder. So where we need it, like we can use in the so models. Suppose example we have like a plus b whole square, right? A square b square plus 2ab. We have formulas and wherever we need it, we are using. Okay, like that. So we have macros who work like formulas. So where we need in the models, we can use those macros. So here also we are using Jinja templates only. So snapshot is nothing but to access the historical data. Suppose I want to access 5 years back data. Okay. So same AC type 2 we going to implement here. Slowly change dimension 2. And hooks, when we run the model, what is happening the before and what is happening the after running the model. Analysis folder, so in real time we don't use, but it will folder. So what we create, it won't reflect in the Snowflake data warehouse. Just we can check the data, we can analyze the data. So packages, DBT utilities. So if anything, suppose an exam, I will give an example. I'm doing one test. So I'm doing one test, accepted values test. So here what is happening? So the column should have only this one, these values only. So up to 10. But next time what is happening? I have requirement. So not only 1, 2, 3. Okay. It also need to accept up to 100 liters. So when I'm doing the expert values test, so when I'm doing with 1 to 10 digits, it's going to work. So when I'm doing with 100 values, it's not going to work. It's going to show the fail. So in that scenario, what we going to need to throw the error? Do utilities. So DBT utilities. So there we have. some packages. So packages, yeah. So there we need to copy the code. Then come to the Snowflake. Okay, come to the DBT. Then paste. Then use DBT depth. DBT depth command. It's going to install those packages. Then after, if you run this test, it's going to be successful. So those packages. Okay, we going to discuss. Okay, so this is final normal thing. Okay, models test, and I'm going to teach some advantage like CI/CD class nodes. It means like continuous integration, continuous deployment. CI continuous integration, CD continuous deployment. How are we going to do? How are we going to connect with the GitHub? Okay, so I have data in dev environment. I need to move to test, and I need to move to prod production. So how we going to? Okay, usually in Snowflake directly we can connect DBT. We can move with the dev to test to prod. The different pattern. We need to use sometimes Python, those things. But in when we have DBT directly, we can create these environments. Okay, we can set up. We can move the data. Okay, cloud feature. Going to DBT scheduler. Okay, DBT scheduler. Okay, we going to discuss about this one. DBT scheduler. How we going to schedule the this thing? Okay, how to schedule the jobs. Jobs means when you schedule the jobs, we give the commands DBT run, okay, DBT test, see, or DBT build. Then it's going to automatically run the test models and everything. So here one thing, most of the time they going to ask the one question: what is the difference between DBT run and DBT build? So DBT run will run all the models. DBT test only run the test, but DBT build, okay, it going to run the all the models, all the test snapshots, okay, and seeds. It going to run everything. Okay, that is DBT build command. Okay, DBT build command. So this is how we going to work with DBT. So completely, okay, environments, layers. I'm going to teach. Okay, like architecture, like Snowflake architecture, storage, compute, cloud service. Snowflake project architecture, raw layer, staging layer, curated layer, presentation layer, okay, a final layer reporting. They will use different names. Okay, so it means simply you will get real time. Okay, no need to uh, go for other things. Okay, you can learn anything. Okay, and then in between SQL, delete and duplicate values. So those are the okay. So clear. So Shiva, Om Shiva, Vasant, Venkatesh, any doubt regarding this demo intro? You can ask anything. You
Yeah, hi
can,
Madhu, this is Vamsi here.
yeah, Om Shiva.
Yeah. I just want to know, do we need to have the knowledge of Cloud DB as well? Because
What?
I read somewhere we need to install Snowflake in the cloud database, right?
No need to install the
Is it
Snowflake. We can create directly in Google. That in Chrome.
okay?
No need, that is a basic thing. Okay. So when I'm
Mhm.
starting giving the intro, I need to tell. So Snowflake is like so pay as is model. That fine, and it is like SaaS model. So
Okay.
SaaS model, okay. No need to install anything. Okay. Simply we can create account online. We can start using it. Okay. No any hardware and nothing. So because Snowflake is completely built on cloud. So taking support of AWS or Azure and GCP, completely cloud. So no need to install any software. So but in one scenario we need to install that when we are working with internal stages. That is one or two-day classes that most of the
Okay.
nowadays nobody have data in the on-premise in local machine. So some rare scenarios we go to use, but that also I will teach. Okay, so main thing, no need to install anything. Completely it is a SaaS model, so we can create online and we can start using it. So
Okay.
this is what I'm explaining like demo. But when I go with with classes, first I will go with theory. I will explain. Then we will go to practical. Then in that interview practice, I will explain where we use in real time scenarios. I will tell. So simply theory practice not enough. With the practice, we will tell scenarios where we use what type of tables, what type of transformation are done, uh, schema evolution. Also, we will do schema evolution and think completely. You will not only developer, you will get everything. Okay, developer side and in future admin, architect, okay, and data analyst. So everything I will cover, okay, completely end to end. But I will where I need to focus on, I will focus on more on that one in-depth concept, the developer. Okay, I will focus on admin. Okay, so just have strong knowledge. I will share regarding this of SQL, SQL. Okay, you need to go with those recordings. Okay, while teaching the Snowflake, you will get everything between giants, delete and duplicate values. Okay, almost views and UDF procedures. Okay, also covered. Okay, other things, simple things only. I will teach everything. Okay, okay. So ping me for continuing training. So okay, we will continue tomorrow 8 p.m. Okay. So if you doubt any doubt, you can ping me personally also. Then I will clear. So simply you will get real time work experience. Okay. Have a good night. Take care. Bye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah.